The Gemara in Masechet Kiddushin, page 81b, talks about the issues of yichud. And it says, a man may be secluded with his mother or with his daughter. Why? They're related to him. He's allowed to be secluded with them because we're not suspecting him of doing something inappropriate. But some Chachamim say no. There should be some monitoring of some kind. Either way, halacha and maaseh, he's allowed to be secluded. He may be secluded with his sister from time to time. Why from time to time? Dad already is, why is he with us so much? Already the Gemara is, take it easy. Mom, okay, fine. Daughter, fine. But the sister already, you're beseder. Shmuel says it's forbidden to be alone with any of the arayot of the Torah, and even with an animal. Forbidden to be with any forbidden woman. Arayot is any woman that's forbidden to you. Just so you know, girlfriends are forbidden. Boyfriends are forbidden. There's no such thing as boyfriend, girlfriend in Judaism. There's your wife, and there's some strange woman. There's your husband, and there's some stranger. That's what there is. There's allowed, and there's not allowed. Your wife, allowed to you when she's pure. Your husband, allowed to you when you're pure. Strange lady, never allowed to you. And there's different levels of strange ladies. There's a strange lady that some people call girlfriend. There's a strange lady that's somebody else's girlfriend, but she's your girlfriend for the day. There's a strange lady that's a goya. She's not Jewish even. There's a strange lady that she's somebody's wife. That's eshet ish. There's all types of strange ladies. There's also the strange men too. There's a strange man of this week. There's a strange man that pays the rent. There's a strange man that gave you a ride. There's a strange man that, got you new shoes for $600. There's all types of strange men. All of them are forbidden. No one strange is allowed. And there's different levels of punishment for it. Rabbi Yehuda says, when a person is a motzi zera levatala, wastes seed, he's already in a big problem. But he's nothing in comparison. His problem is nothing in comparison to the problem that a guy that motzi was with a girl, and she's his wife, and simply did what Erve Onan did. Simply, he was with his wife, but he doesn't want to bring kids to the world. Why? Because it's going to ruin her figure. He wants it to remain a Barbie doll. Put her in a shelf. Doesn't want to ruin her figure, so he doesn't want to. And him, the second guy, the guy that's married, she's allowed to him. He doesn't want to bring a baby to the world. She doesn't want to bring a baby to the world. They want to enjoy their youth. They want to enjoy their youth, so they don't want to bring the baby to the world. Their problem is nothing in comparison to a couple that uses a condom. What's the difference? If it's outside, if it's in the condom, what's the difference? Oh, the difference is Rabbi Yehuda says. This guy's creating mazikim, this one's creating a whole army. The Satan himself benefits from it. Different levels of problems. Different levels of problems. Either way, the Gemara here says, all of the forbidden people to you, not allowed to be secluded with them, even if it's an animal. Beseder, thank you very much for the Gemara to tell me this. But then the Gemara tells me the personal details of the Chachamim themselves. When somebody thinks of Rabbi Meir Balanes, what do you think of? You think of a Sefer Torah that's alive. The Gemara says Rabbi Meir Balanes was the only scribe that's allowed to write a Sefer Torah without having a Sefer Torah to copy from. Halachically, when you write a Sefer Torah, you have to copy it. You have to look. This is the letter, this is the letter. This is the letter, this is the letter. You can't just do it from memory. Rabbi Meir Balanes, different halacha for him. Why? This Torah was imprinted in his mind. There is no reality where he doesn't see the Torah. So when you think of somebody like this is not relevant to him. Sister, brother, it's gross. It's for regular people that play on the internet. Says Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes to the members of his household, to his own family, be careful to be with me, so that I will not be alone with my daughter. What? Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes says, warning, don't leave my daughter alone with me. Now if he was alone, we'd say it's strange, but he's not alone. Amar Rabbi Tarfon. Rabbi Tarfon says to his members of his family, be careful to be with me, so that I will not be alone with my daughter-in-law, my son's wife. Don't leave us alone. Don't leave us alone. You ask a person today, listen, you're not allowed to be alone with your daughter-in-law. So look at you, what, you sick? You think I'm going to be with my daughter-in-law? What's wrong with you? What kind of rabbi are you? You guys are sick today. I need a real rabbi. Then explain to me this Gemara. Why is Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, Kodesh Kodeshim, Sefer Torah alive, telling us, don't leave me alone here with my daughter. Please stay here. Rabbi Tarfon, Kodesh Kodeshim, don't leave me alone. My daughter-in-law is here. Don't leave us alone. No. It's my daughter-in-law. She's a woman. Don't leave us alone. In fact, the Talmid of Rabbi Tarfon made fun of it. He heard this, started laughing about it. Ha! Rabbi, come on, are you kidding me? You're like 80 years old. You, your daughter-in-law. It's not even shayach. You have Iva Yetzirah B'chal. You're Kodesh Kodeshim, Rabbi. It's a joke. No, come on. Seriously? What, you think clowns were created today? They always had them. It's old news. So the Talmid of Rabbi Tarfon says, no, come on, Rabbi. Bemet, you serious? Rabbi Tarfon looks at him and says, yeah, Bemet, I'm serious. What do you mean I'm serious? Don't leave me. You have to stay because my daughter-in-law is here. I have to. Can anybody explain to me why Rabbi Tarfon and Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes and the rest of the Chachamim, there's many others I'm not mentioning, saying the same exact thing? Don't leave me alone with this one, don't leave me alone with that one. In reality, it doesn't make any sense. Because we're thinking, even we don't have this problem. And even the Talmid of 2,000 years ago is making fun of it. So it even makes it more difficult to understand, why do I have to read this week's Parashat Achrei Mot every year about all this incest? It's not relevant to me, theoretically. Before we answer the question, we have to understand, what is Kedusha? If you go to some videos out there of the previous generation's rabbis, or you go to the books that were written by real tzaddikim, many from previous generations, you'll understand what Kedusha is, 1, 2, 3. Today it's a little more confusing, because people tell you, enjoy life. That's going to make you holy. Be happy. That's going to make you holy. Do mitzvahs. That's going to make you holy. Don't kill anybody. You're on the way to holiness. What about the issues of morality? Yeah, that too. That too. Don't do anything bad. Don't do anything like what it says. Don't be with your mom and your sister. What, I really have to teach you that? Well, apparently, Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes and Rabbi Tarfon missed the shiur. Because they're saying, yeah, you have to remind me every year. So first we have to know, what is Kedusha? Parashat Kedoshim, next week's parasha in America, it's already this week's parasha in Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe, וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל כל עדת בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, קדושים תהיו, כי קדוש אני, אדוני אלוהיכם. Hashem spoke to Moshe saying, speak to the entire assembly of the children of Israel, and say to them, you shall be holy, for holy am I, Hashem your God. Chachamim ask, why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu here adding a word? It says, Kol Edat Bnei Israel. Not just Daber Bnei Israel, speak to the children of Israel, but rather speak like Kol Edat, to everyone. Midrash Rabbah says, and says the Rambam, the Ramban, Rashi, everybody agrees. Because this pasuk is relevant to every single person that ever lived before and after the pasuk. Every child, every adult, every teenager, everybody. The religious, the Baal Teshuva, the convert, everybody. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you be holy, because I'm holy. So the Ramban wants to tell us what is holiness. What is this holiness? Why do we even need this holiness? Why is it being spoken to everybody like this? What's so special about it? So the Ramban says, first and foremost, know this. This pasuk, if you understand it, then you understand the Torah. If you don't, you have no shayachut whatsoever to the Torah. This pasuk, Kedoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani, is the foundation of the entire Torah. Because the vast majority of all of the laws of the Torah depend on this pasuk. Rashi says, what is Kedoshim? To be removed from forbidden sexual relationships and from any sin of similar immorality. For every place in the Torah that you find restriction of sexual immorality, you will find the mention of being holy, of Kedoshim. And the same goes, as a side note, society. Any society, any community where you see that the standard teachings are to be separated from immorality, to be removed from immorality, you will find yourself a holy community. Any community where morality is simply up for grabs, whoever defines it one way is right, everybody's right. One guy thinks he's moral because his boyfriend and him decide to have a son together. They're legally married, him and his boyfriend. So they're moral, according to him. And they're adopting Shmuli from the farm. But they're going to change his name to Shmuel, because they want to be moral. Then you have another lady, she's also moral, according to her. It's only her 6th husband in the last 5 years. She's very moral. She even covers her hair. Very moral. Just so happened that she can't get along with any guy. And she somehow finds guys to marry her very quickly. It's miraculous. The entire world has a shidduch problem, but she finds a husband every year. Amazing. Very moral. Everybody thinks morality is whatever you... Rashi says, morality is something extraordinary. Why? Because morality is one of the fundamentals that are required in order to achieve holiness. Any place where there are teachings of morality, especially when it comes to sexuality, where they teach you to separate yourself from promiscuity and from all the garbage of the world, that place will have holiness. Any place where people can wear whatever they want, be whatever they want, do whatever they want, no holiness whatsoever. Simple. If you are finding yourself in a community where the rabbi's wife is wearing no arms, no legs, you have found yourself an immoral place. If you're in a community where the rabbi talks about tikkun habrit, talks about morality, talks about all the things that this parasha talks about, you have found yourself a good community. Simple. And you'll also find that the rabbi that speaks about morality and scares people somehow always tends to have a more modest keilah. It's always the coincidence that the one that speaks the truth always happens to have the best tzaddikim. And the one that pretends like he's speaking the truth, but he tells you can do whatever you want, just don't kill anybody, or at least don't get caught, somehow nobody covers their hair or their body or anything else. So Rashi says this kedusha has to do with morality. The Ramban, on the other hand, elaborates. Nachmanides says kedoshim is prushim. Kedoshim is prushim. Prushim is removed ones. Just like Rashi said, removed from forbidden sexual relationships, but not only that, removed from the things that are forbidden and even the things that are permitted to a certain extent. And to read his language exactly, he says the following: Kedoshim is prushim, even from permitted things, because if this only referred to forbidden sexual relations and, let's say, forbidden foods, then one could rationalize excessive relation with his own wife, or just simply have many wives. If you just tell me I'm not allowed to be with the sister, with the mother, with all this animals, whatever it is, okay, fine, so I'll just be with this one woman and I'll simply be with her nonstop. Or I'll simply get a new wife every month. So Ramban says it cannot mean just forbidden relationships. You also, to be kadosh, you also have to monitor the things that are permitted too. Because if you don't monitor them, if you don't control them, then you could simply use the Torah in order to be despicable. It's called naval birshut Torah, despicable in the name of a Torah. Where he says, no, look, it's allowed to be with my wife. Yeah, it's allowed to be with your wife, but nobody says you have to be a rooster 15 times a day all month. Yeah, it's allowed, you're allowed to eat as long as it's kosher, but nobody said eat like your head every day and gain 5 pounds a meal. It's allowed, but nobody says you have to do it that much. And nobody permitted it. So the Ramban says, Kedusha is not just what Rashi said, but even further. You have to control yourself, even when it comes to the things that are permitted. But for those of you that may take this a little too far, where some people say, oh, so that means that every time I'm with my wife, it's only to make kids. No, not necessarily. There are a couple of mitzvot that have to do with relations with the wife and husband. It's not just to bring kids. If that was the case, everybody would have to get divorced at some point. In fact, the Minchat Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda Ftaya, alav shalom, a Talmid Chacham came to him and told me he had a dream that he needs help with. What was his dream? He saw that there was a candle that was that he put into some type of pot from what's it called? Earthenware type of pot. And he saw that the candle was lit, but barely coming out of, you could barely see the light. And then it turned off, and then 3 times. He says, it's a weird dream. So I wanted the Chacham to tell me. Rabbi Yehuda gave him an interpretation. He says, no, come on, no, please, tell me the truth. Rabbi Yehuda says to him, I'm only going to tell you the truth if you promise me that you're going to admit that it's true. Because I know you're not going to want to admit. He says, yeah, sure, Chacham, what? He says, the dream means, last night, you woke up 3 times with a desire to be with your wife. But you figured, nah, and you went back to sleep. He says, Chacham, how'd you know? He says, that's what the dream says. He goes, but how did you get it from the dream? He says, the light is the light of love. And it didn't go up, it was barely, why? Because you didn't actually do the act. He says, why do I have this dream? You're being rebuked from Shamayim for not fulfilling the mitzvah. You have a mitzvah to be with your wife. Even if you're a Chacham, there's a time and a place for everything. Not always for kids. So Kedusha is not necessarily only just what people think it is. But it's very, very important to know that even what's allowed has to be under control. Let me know what you think, and make sure to share it, because other people need to learn too.